In a small American town where the streets were lined with maple trees and the coffee shop still knew your name, stood a little brick front building with a flickering neon sign, Lawson's Video Rentals. It had stood there for 27 years. Past the dusty windows and faded movie posters, inside were wooden shelves bowing under the weight of time. Rows of VHS tapes, then DVDs, alphabetized with care. And behind the counter was always Mr. Lawson, gray hair, flannel shirts, and a smile that hadn't aged much since 1987. But times had changed. Netflix, Redbox, streaming. Everyone moved on, except him, until one morning he placed a small handwritten sign in the window, closing forever, March 30th, thank you for the memories. And just like that, the countdown began. It was the 1980s, a time of VHS tapes, neon lights, and big dreams. Every Friday, at exactly 4:45 p.m., kids on bikes would race down Main Street, sticky fingers from candy, laughing, yelling, heading to one place only, Lawson's Video Rentals. Parents came in too, holding little scraps of paper with movie titles scribbled in blue ink. Date nights began with arguments, comedy or horror, romance or action. Inside, the smell was always the same, old plastic cases and microwave popcorn. Comforting, familiar, like coming home. Mr. Lawson remembered every face. The girl with red curls who rented Matilda again and again. The teenage couple who watched Titanic 10 weeks in a row. The quiet father who picked up cartoons every Tuesday because that was the only day he had with his daughter. He remembered opening day, the red ribbon outside, the small-town mayor smiling for a photo, boxes of tapes fresh from the warehouse still smelling like ink and new plastic. He typed every title by hand on a clunky beige Macintosh. Back then, Friday nights were magic. The bell above the door never stopped ringing. Kids crowded the new releases wall like it was treasure. Arguments broke out over the last copy of Jurassic Park. Teenagers whispered about horror films, trying to act brave. Mr. Lawson popped popcorn just for the smell. He said it made the store feel alive. And there were the regulars. Mrs. Delgado, who only rented black and white films, said they reminded her of her husband who passed. And little Timmy Parker, a boy who stuttered badly until he acted out scenes from Home Alone with perfect, joyful confidence. The store was never really about movies. It was about people. It was about connection and memory. And over time, it became something sacred. The world kept moving, but Lawson's store stood still. First came DVDs, then Blu-ray, then streaming. At first, it was just a whisper, a few fewer customers, a Friday night, not quite as busy. By 2009, the teens stopped showing up. Then the young families. Soon, only the elderly returned, the ones who still owned VCRs, still remembered. Mr. Lawson tried to keep up. He added DVDs, bought a small flat screen to play trailers. He even made a Facebook page, though he hated computers. But nothing worked. The mornings grew, silent. Afternoons, lonelier still. He stopped paying himself a salary, lived off savings, waited. In 2022, a little boy walked in with his mother. He stared at the VHS tapes, confused. Why would anyone rent a movie, he asked. When it's free on TV, Lawson didn't answer. He just smiled, softly. That winter, he got the flu, alone in bed for 3 days. No one called, no one noticed, and in the silence, he realized something. He was tired. Tired of pretending the past could live forever. Tired of holding on when the world had let go. So on March 1st, 2023, he walked to the window, and taped up a small sign, closing forever, March 30th. Thank you for the memories. And then he waited for the end. It was March 23rd, a Wednesday. Cloudy skies hung low over the town. The kind of day where the air smelled like wet sidewalks and yesterday's rain. She walked in without a word. A long green coat, no makeup, hair tied in a loose bun. She looked around, not like a customer, but like someone retracing memories. She walked the aisles, comedy, drama, kids. Then she stopped, kneeled down, and pulled out an old VHS tape from the bottom row of the children's section. The Iron Giant. She held it in her hands like it was a photograph or a piece of her past. Then she brought it to the counter, gently placed it down. Mr. Lawson looked up. "You've rented that before," he said. She nodded. "Every summer," she replied softly. "Your name's Claire, isn't it? You and your little brother, Danny." Tears filled her eyes. "He passed in '99, brain tumor. He was only 8. Lawson swallowed hard. He remembered now. The laughter in the aisles, the robot toys, the summer days. He didn't scan the tape. The computer had been off for weeks. "No due date," he said. She smiled. "Thank you." And just like that, she was gone. But the room felt different. Heavier, softer, sacred. Some rentals aren't about the movie. They're about what the movie remembers. For us. 30th, the final day. Mr. Lawson woke early. Earlier than usual. There was no rush, but something in him wanted to be there first. He opened the store one last time, flipped the little wooden sign to open, wiped the counter, dusted the shelves. Outside, the streets were quiet. Inside, even quieter. One by one, they came. Old customers, old friends. Some brought cookies, some brought hugs. Most brought tears. They took photos, touched the movie cases like artifacts, told stories, laughed, then cried. One woman handed him a letter. It simply read, "Thank you for giving my son a childhood." The bell above the door rang, less and less, until finally it rang no more. By sunset, he was alone. Just him and the shelves and the silence. He turned off the lights, one by one. The hum of the fluorescent bulbs faded to stillness. He locked the front door, took one last look, and smiled. But before he left, he walked to the back wall and taped up a small handwritten note. The last tape was rented on March 23, 2023. It was The Iron Giant. Some tapes are returned, others live forever. Then he stepped outside, breathed in the cool night air, and walked away. Not from failure, not from loss, but from love that had lasted longer than anyone expected. Spring came, then summer. The store was gone, painted over, transformed. In its place, a trendy cafe with glass doors and tiny tables that spilled onto the sidewalk. Teenagers sat where the popcorn machine used to hum. They took selfies in front of walls that once held Jurassic Park and Titanic. Mr. Lawson, he walked past it often. Sometimes he smiled, other times he didn't. He never went inside. He didn't need to. Then one Thursday afternoon, nearly a year later, a package appeared at his door. Brown paper, tied with string. No return address, no note outside. He opened it slowly, hands trembling slightly. Inside was a VHS tape, The Iron Giant, and a photograph, a woman, 2 elderly parents sitting on a worn couch, smiling, and folded neatly beside it, a letter. He sat down, held the paper in both hands, and began to read. "Dear Mr. Lawson, that tape meant more than you could imagine. My father has Alzheimer's. My mother barely leaves the house. But that night, we watched The Iron Giant together. On the same old TV, with the same popcorn bowl, in the same living room we grew up in. For 90 minutes, we were just a family again. No illness, no time lost. We laughed when Danny used to imitate the robot's voice. We cried when Hogarth said goodbye. After the movie, my dad turned to me and said, 'I remember this.' It was the first clear thing he'd said in weeks. 'I don't know how you kept that tape for so long, but thank you. Somehow, you gave us back a night we thought we'd lost forever. Love, Claire.'" That evening, Mr. Lawson pulled out his old VCR. Dusty, heavy, but it worked. He slid in the tape. The screen flickered. Snow, then color. The Iron Giant began. And Lawson sat back, smiled, and let the past play. One last time. Mr. Lawson passed away peacefully, in his sleep, 3 months later. When neighbors cleaned his house, they found the tape rewound perfectly, labeled in black ink, the last rented tape, do not erase. They also found a sign above the fireplace. Some tapes are returned, others live forever. The town held a memorial at the old store, now a coffee shop. Claire spoke, so did Timmy Parker, now grown, with kids of his own. And in the town museum, placed in a glass case next to an old popcorn machine, is a simple black VHS tape. The Iron Giant, label rented March 23, 2023, returned eternity. Thanks for listening.